What's up YouTube, this is Veggie and I'm back with another video. This video is a guide on how you can play Zangief in Street Fighter 6. I will try to go through the various aspects of the character and how to approach with him, covering the ground game, the offense, and the defense. Zangief's main strength lies in his buttons game, accompanied by a strong anti-air option and great punishes. While being slower than the average character, this is made up for with longer range on buttons with great hit and hurt boxes. Zangief's main goal is generally cornering the opponents by slowly walking them down, punishing attempts at striking him, while also dealing damage to the drive bar and moving close enough for an SPD or button press. In neutral, Zangief will mainly use his crouching light punch, standing medium punch, standing medium kick, standing heavy punch, and his crouching medium kick to control the ground and put the opponent in a situation where Zangief can thrive. Zangief uses his standing light kick, his crouching heavy kick, his standing medium punch, and his crouching heavy punch when with punishing the opponent. And Zangief can get his pressure going in neutral and block through drive rush with standing light kick, or a counter hit standing medium punch and a counter hit standing heavy punch. Crouching light punch is the tool that carries the least risk of being punished reactionally, and when it is in range of the body hurt box of the opponent, it will rarely lose as long as it becomes active. It is a great way of stopping a character that wants to get into a range where they can hit a button on block and get their pressure going, or walk up for a throw. The downsides to this button is that it leads to little reward on hit and can be susceptible to preemptive counters through an opponent's buffer or preemptive heavy. This is where Zangief's other button starts to shine. For instance, if the opponent is buffering with a low recovery medium to catch our crouching light punch, then we can get counter hit and punish counter knockdowns going from a standing medium punch or a standing heavy punch. These will also be safe on block and give great reward on counter hit and punish counter. If the opponent is trying to preemptively beat our crouching light punch with a heavy, we can try to bait out their heavy and then reactionally whiff punish them with our button of choice. The greatest reward comes from crouching heavy kick and crouching heavy punch mid-screen, but towards the corner, even a standing light kick drive rush, crouching medium punch, down forward medium punch lariat, and a stand medium punch target combo would provide great Oki. Choose your whiff punish according to the opponent's character, tendencies, and the position on the screen, as well as based on the available resources that you have and the opponent has. Standing medium punch has a great hitbox to hurtbox ratio and will avoid a lot of normals in the mid-range. It's whiff punishable by hitboxes that hit higher on the move and lower on the move, but if it's in range, it's very good at straight up beating the opponent's button presses and getting opportunities through the counter hit or punish counter. Standing heavy punch carries great risk on whiff, but if it's used within its range, it's a strong tool to deal drive damage, regular damage, and land counter hit and punish counter knockdowns, either on reaction or just by chance. The closer the opponent is to the corner, the better the Oki from the counter hit and punish counter knockdowns are. The button when pressed has armor until active frames. If the button is held slightly, we get 3 armor frames on the 16 frame startup version of the move. This takes a little practice, but it's worth learning. While we are holding the button, we will have armor until it's released. Holding the standing heavy punch can be countered by a raw drive impact, but the opponent will have to be ready for it. The Oki on the full hold version on counter hit is similar to the non-charge, but it has more plus frames at plus 40, so it can provide Oki from even further away from the corner. The fully charged punish counter standing heavy punch provides a hard knockdown at plus 54. That will provide a plus 10 situation after a double dash, or Oki if an extended drive rush is done after landing the move. We can also do a dash and then drive rush, but the most consistent and strongest Oki comes from drive rushing immediately afterwards. Standing medium kick carries lower risk than both standing heavy punch and standing medium punch, but also less reward. It's harder to whiff punish and can be a great substitute for standing medium punch and standing heavy punch when trying to control the opponent. It is also a great button to close out rounds, as the risk reward becomes even greater when a single standing medium kick will kill the opponent. Crouching medium kick can be used a little bit further away than standing medium punch, but carries the same risk of whiff punishment. It has less reward on hit in terms of damage and potential knockdown, but the good part about incorporating this tool in the ground game control is that it will make the opponents crouch more, limiting their movement and making it harder for them to get to their preferred position. In addition, when crouching, the hurtbox of a character is larger than when they are standing, so when we make our opponents crouch, it will be easier to place our buttons on block. Crouching heavy kick can also be used similarly to crouching medium kick, but at a greater risk, since in many ranges and versus many characters, it can be very punishable on block. The reward on counter hit and punish counter is very high, providing the strongest Oki position for Zangief in the game. And the reward on regular hit is often a pseudo Oki situation that requires conditioning for the SPD to work. Forward medium kick and forward heavy punch are generally used in pressure situation and for Oki situations, but depending on the condition and the position of the opponent, they do have uses in neutral, but more sparingly. Crouching light kick is the easiest checking tool, 4 frame low with great range, but at a much lower reward than slower checks. If the opponent is continuously using something like a drive rush, then trying to focus on checking with a slower button with more reward can be a good choice. But as long as they are using these options sparingly, the crouching light kick is a great choice. Zangief is pretty good at dealing with fireballs, and I have already uploaded a guide that covers this, and I think it is still relevant in the current patch. If this changes in the future, I might make an updated guide that addresses this. Using these tools efficiently will force the opponent to act, as blocking heavies and mediums from Zangief will drive the drive bar substantially over time, and the opponent will have to either try to make Zangief Zangief with or move in for a button press themselves. Identifying when someone will go for a button press and when they will try to make us with, and even when they might try to jump in on us, will allow us to control the neutral and corner the opponent. In some matchups, the use of buttons alone will be difficult, as the opponent will have options that are very hard to deal with through the use of the ground game only. When jumping with Zangief, mixing up the various options in the air can help create an opening on an opponent. If an opponent's anti-air goes straight up, then empty jumping might allow us to punish the anti-air when we land. And if the opponent's anti-air is slow or has a weak hit to hurtbox ratio, then maybe a jump medium kick or jump light kick could stuff it before it becomes active. Zangief's jump game can be very strong in some matchups. It comes down to the risk versus reward. For instance, jumping in on a guile with no level 3 that is not charging flash kick is not really that risky, as the anti-air does not lead too much and the damage is low. While if the jump was successful, it would create a really strong position for Zangief both on hit and block. Jumping heavy punch and jumping heavy kick is really good to get the most damage out of a jumping situation. Jumping medium punch has great range but little active frames and can be used in situations like the fake safe jump mix-up after EX Lariat. Neutral jump headbutt is the highest damage jumping normal that Zangief has and the best one for starting combos. Let's cover the Oki from the various knockdowns. The plus 27 knockdown, the knockdown plus frames we receive after a standing medium punch target combo and a close lariat combo, is the most common knockdown we land. This knockdown is very strong when the opponent is near to the corner or in the corner, as after this knockdown we can go for an immediate drive rush into a forward heavy punch, and we will be plus 11 on block and plus 15 on hit, meaning that both on hit and block we can go for a second forward heavy punch as part of our mix-up, as it will beat a reversal 4 frame. We can also go for an immediate drive rush into forward medium kick that will be safe to drive reverse, and plus 4 on block and combo into down forward medium punch on hit. Closer to the corner, this knockdown provides the option to dash up throw or dash up SPD as an auto-time meaty, or walk up throw and walk up SPD, or even a walk up forward heavy punch. In the plus 27 knockdown, we will have enough plus frames to bait the reversal if we go for blocking after our drive reversal, so the scenario is very strong. The plus 45 knockdown, which is a knockdown we often get from landing a punish counter or counter hit sweep, is probably the strongest knockdown we have. This knockdown lets us do a manually timed safe jump. The safe jump plus frames for Zangief is 43 to be safe from 6 frame DPs. So there is a manual delay of 2 frames. But we can also go for empty jump mix-ups to beat both the light DP and the parry. I like going for the safe jump setup as I find the Oki very strong. We can also dash up and do all the normal pressure with forward heavy punch, light, regular throw or command throw. And we can do a frame kill crouching light kick to be plus 27 and do all the good options we get from the plus 27 knockdowns with the double forward heavy punch, etc. If we get a plus 28 knockdown, which can be achieved after a level 2 super in the corner by doing the latest possible down forward medium punch into lariat on the juggle, we get the same Oki options as the plus 27 knockdown, but we will have even more plus frame. The plus 29 knockdowns, which are generally achieved when landing a level 1 super or any of the non-close running bear grabs, allows us to get a driver's forward medium kick that is plus 6 on block and plus 11 on hit, or a driver's light SPD, or a driver's standing medium punch, or a driver's into crouching light kick, etc. All of these need to be manually timed. For instance, an immediate driver's forward medium kick will lead to a whiffed forward medium kick, with the exception of when we land the level 1 when the opponent is cornered. Here we can do an immediate driver's forward medium kick to get the best possible scenario. The plus 19 knockdown from the air SPD, the Bosch Dynamite, is not too strong, as we can't keep safe from a reversal EX DP if we driver. Depending on the DP, we might be able to be safe from it by doing a driver's immediate throw or a driver's immediate stomp, but in general the situation is not too strong. When landing level 2, we can get reload, side switch, or high damage and high super meter build. It depends on what we want to achieve and what character we are fighting. Holding the level 2 and going for dash down forward medium punch lariat will provide a plus 38 knockdown that allows for a driver's SPD, forward heavy punch, standing medium punch, or medium kick, crouching light kick, etc. If we want higher damage, we can go for a dash, down forward medium punch, air EX SPD. If we are comboing into level 2 after quite a few hits, down forward medium punch into EX air SPD or Bosch Dynamite loses its value, as the damage scaling will affect it heavily for its cost and the position afterwards. In these scenarios, going for either the frame kill into safe jump or dash down forward medium punch lariat is just as good as the reward after landing the air EX Bosch Dynamite, but will actually in general provide a better reward, because if we think that the level 2 can kill and we don't have a level 1 super, then by not inputting anything we can get the jackhammer, which will deal the most damage. If you want to get the corner from the level 2, holding back will lead to the best option at plus 5, where we can condition the opponent into blocking and then use forward medium kick, forward heavy punch or walk up SPD. This does 100 less damage, but is well worth it if the super won't kill and we want to have the corner. I have not really found any real use for the hold forward version of the super, as we are only plus 1 and quite far away from the opponent. If we do lights into level 2 and have level 1, then going into level 1 will provide a bit more damage than going for a jackhammer. We can do a dash down forward medium punch into the level 1, or in the corner a standing heavy kick and then juggle into level 1. If we want big damage and big Oki and we don't have too much scaling going into the level 2, then going for dash down forward medium punch or standing heavy kick juggle into level 1 provides both good damage and good Oki. Plus 38 is the plus frames we get after the EX Lariat on grounded opponents. And if the EX Lariat connects close enough, provides a real throw button command throw mix-up. So ending the down forward medium punch confirm and the forward heavy punch into down forward medium punch combo in EX Lariat is good for both damage and the follow-up Oki. The further away our EX Lariat connects, the harder it will be to get a regular throw going, but we will almost always be able to get a forward medium kick or a standing medium punch, or maybe even a forward heavy punch or light SPD to be real in these scenarios. EX Lariat as an anti-air gives a little bit worse plus frames, and the throw is not often guaranteed, but we will very often be in a position to do either standing medium punch, forward medium kick, forward heavy punch, or light SPD. It can be close enough for medium, heavy, and EX SPD and throw, depending on how close the opponent was when they jumped at us. Remember to hold forward after the EX Lariat connects until the active animation is finished to get the closest to the opponent as possible. This is also important for the regular Lariat. EX Lariat as an anti-air can be comboed into level 2 and then followed up by an air EX SPD, Borscht Dynamite, or a level 1, which can lead to a kill from an anti-air even when the opponent has quite a bit of health left. The SPD Oki situations are really condition based, as after any SPD, drive rush into stand light kick will beat backdash and back jump as well as wake up button. It is a lot easier to time this after the light punch SPD, which is plus 30, than the medium, heavy, and EX SPDs, which are plus 28. But from testing, it should be possible. When conditioned after doing things like driver standing light kick, driver sweep, etc., we can get a driver's SPD. I recommend learning to pre-buffer the motion during the drivers and ending in up plus the punch button when we are in range. This will make the SPD harder to delay button or delay jump out of. There is no true answer in this mix-up, and there are so many ways of creating opportunities. Delay button to catch delay jumps, drivers block to catch parry, which can be reactionally punished with the SPD, or bait the drive impact, which can be countered by our own drive impact. Or maybe see that the opponent isn't moving, so we hit them with an SPD after doing a drivers into block, or drivers into nothing, then delay button to catch them pressing. There are so many options after this, and there is so much room for creativity, but conditioning and recognizing what the opponent might want to do is key here. In any case, with enough drive bar, the drivers stand light kick into drivers will provide a very strong mix-up, where going into the crouching medium kick is a true string, which will catch the opponent if they are trying to do a reversal with a standing input. And again, conditioning is key. This means we can get a real SPD mix-up going here as well, as the opponent might be afraid of trying to do a reversal after the block standing light kick. After the close suplex, which can only be done when you're very close and doing the running bird grab input. On regular hit, we will be plus 26, and on EX, we will be plus 27. Both of these allow us to do a driver slide SPD or a driver's forward medium kick that is auto-timed, that will be plus on block and plus enough on hit to combo into down forward medium punch. We can of course also do the driver's standing medium punch, driver's crouching light kick, and when conditioned, driver's forward heavy punch, etc. Zangief's regular throw game is very good in Street Fighter 6. His best throw is a down forward throw, which is plus 33 on hit, and it will loop into a real throw loop with drivers. It can provide manually timed options for double forward heavy punch with the drivers. It allows for a dash up forward heavy punch and a dash up light SPD. In the corner, it also loops into itself without drivers for a throw loop. We can frame kill with one stomp, which leaves it as plus 5 for a perfect meaty throw or SPD. I prefer to dash first and then manually time the throw or command throw, or after the dash go for a forward heavy punch. On a punish counter, this throw loops into itself without drive rush even mid-screen. Zangief's back throw is his best position from the side switch throws. It leaves him at plus 8, and if Zangief throws the opponents into the corner or lands this as a punish counter back throw, it provides a real Oki situation where we can land crouching medium punch and then drive rush preemptively, light SPD, medium SPD, EX SPD, and level 3. And when the opponent is conditioned, we can even go for things like forward heavy punch. Zangief's neutral throw has an added option that allows for Zangief to hold the throw buttons to get a follow-up on the throw. This will allow Zangief to deal 1800 damage. If the throw lands as a punish counter, it will actually deal as much as 2640 damage. It also provides a throw loop in the corner, so if the opponent is at around 2640 health and corner, it is very valuable to go for this throw. If you get the punish counter, you hold it and end the round, and if you don't get a punish counter, you can still apply pressure. Zangief has more throws. If we want to create more space after back throw, the down back or down throw is a good option. Forward heavy punch is an excellent pressure tool. A regular forward heavy punch is plus 8 on hit and plus 4 on block. This means that we can use it as a combo tool into down forward medium punch or crouching medium punch and follow up from there, where regular Lariat gives Oki near to and in the corner, and the EX Lariat will give Oki anywhere on the screen, as well as combos into supers, etc. It is also a very good frame trap tool, and we can use it to set up real command throws and regular throws. As an example, we can do a forward heavy punch into an SPD. This will beat any attempted button press for the opponent. Similarly, a forward heavy punch into a down forward medium punch will beat a button press from the opponent. When conditioned, we can go for multiple forward heavy punches, draining drive bar and forcing the opponent to act. Delay button is a good answer to the forward heavy punch from the opponent. And to catch this without our forward medium punch or other buttons, we need to do a delay for ourselves. Here an SPD would still work and be an easier solution. The possibilities for conditioning and opening the opponents are many, and using different buttons in between the forward heavy punches will make it harder for the opponent to get out of the situation. Since the forward heavy punch is +4 on block, it leads to a true string if you go into a crouching light kick, which will beat any attempted reversal that has a standing input in it. When landing the forward heavy punch after a drive rush, it's +12 on hit and +8 on block. These numbers can increase if it lands meaty, meaning it's harder to do a delay button to catch the second forward heavy punch. And it also means that we need to delay our down forward medium punch, crouching light punch or crouching medium punch if we want to catch them jumping, pressing or backdashing. The forward medium kick is also a great tool to keep the pressure going or getting in when the opponent is relatively close to us. There is a true block string that will set up for a perfectly spaced forward medium kick by going for point blank crouching light kick, crouching light kick, crouching light punch into forward medium kick. This forward medium kick will be +2 on standing block and +1 on crouching block. After this, we can mix in crouching light kick, light SPD, sometimes medium SPD or EX SPD, delay forward heavy punch, delay standing medium punch, etc. The opponent can more easily press to challenge a forward medium kick after a recent patch, and the forward medium kick can now be punishable on block depending on the spacing, making us having to be aware on possibly punishing the opponent for their reversal button press, or simply delaying the forward medium kick so that it does not get hit by their reversal button. It still works the same versus reversal lows like crouching medium kicks, so it's still a very strong option, but it requires a little bit more conditioning now. For instance, after our block string, we could go into a delay button or an immediate button depending on the opponent's character and the tools that they have available to them to catch them pressing and condition them to not press after our block strings. To get the forward medium kick to be +2 on crouching block, we must do it in a range where it whiffs on standing block. So always trying to use it in the range where it's +2 on standing and +1 on crouching is optimal. It also triggers proximity guard if we are close enough when using it, which is the case after point blank, crouching light kick, crouching light kick, crouching light punch, even mid-screen. Down forward medium punch is an excellent block string ender since it's a confirmable button with a generous confirm window, allowing us to get mix-ups even when there is only one button pressed left in our string. When we have level 3 or critical art, we can actually confirm it into very high damage, killing the opponents at really high healths. A normal scenario is standing like drivers into crouching medium punch, which is +3 on block, and then either an SPD or a down forward medium punch, where the down forward medium punch is confirmable into lariat and EX lariat and will beat the opponent trying to jump out or backdash, and the SPD will beat the 4-frame button and the block. If the opponent presses after the crouching medium punch in this scenario, our down forward medium punch will trade, but we will be +7 most of the time, and we can continue to combo into standing light kick. We should consider our drive bar and what the combo will lead to before doing this though. Using lights is also a strong offense tool, as doing lights can be further comboed into drive rush and then again into crouching light punch, down forward medium punch lariat, which can lead to a +27 knockdown which has real OK in the corner or close to the corner. Or we can reset when we land the drive rush crouching light punch, which is +10, meaning we have a real mix-up with forward heavy punch or SPD. The forward heavy punch will trade with a 4-frame button, but it will still allow us to combo from there. Chaining into crouching light kick or crouching light punch from a crouching light kick or a crouching light punch will provide a true block string. But when going into a standing light punch, we will no longer have a true block string. But the standing light punch is better when comboing into the drive rush or doing the drive rush on block from light strings, as it can provide a true block string on block with crouching light kick and be plus enough for us to run closer before doing a crouching light punch on hit. Remember that when comboing into lights and the opponent's health is low, we might be able to land a kill if we dump all our drive bar into the combo. When doing a regular standing light kick into drivers on block, we can keep our block string true by going for a crouching light kick. This crouching light kick will be +1 on block, and if the opponent presses, they will beat our follow-up SPD, but they will lose to a slightly delayed second crouching light kick. We can also chain from the crouching light kick into the standing light punch, and then command throw after that. As it is +2 on block, a 4-frame button will lose to the SPD. With the way Zangief's forward heavy punch works, doing a driver's crouching light kick, crouching light kick, crouching light punch, and then forward heavy punch, we will actually auto whiff punish if they then decide to press the 4-frame. Our SPD will also work here, even though we're just +1. Defending as Zangief is interesting, because while we technically don't have the strongest defensive options, we also have more life than the average character at 11,000, and as a result of this, we can afford to take more risks on defense. Generally though, trying to block them out is a smart option as it comes with low risk unless we are close to burnout. We can also sort of force a defensive mix-up by trying to land either a perfect parry or a jump cancel SPD. I have a guide on how to do the jump cancel SPDs if you want to learn how to do this. Zangief's level 2 will beat a lot of heavies, some mediums and throws, so it is kinda risky to use as a controversial option. But if we have a good read, we can turn the tides by getting the corner. When we have a level 3 or critical art, we have the best defensive option in the game, as it can only be avoided by a backdash or a jump. So pressuring becomes increasingly dangerous, as the Zangief can end a round when the opponent is at 4800 health with level 3 and at 5300 health with critical art. We can also mix in jump out and backdash and then mix our follow-ups after that. We will seldomly be in a position to punish after backdashing a throw, but it will probably be our turn and we can get some mix-up going. When jumping out of the corner, a splash can connect if the opponent is walking up for a throw. If they were point blank when you went for the jump though, the splash is likely to whiff and they can punish on landing, so use the splash accordingly. The same goes for the jumping light kick. Rotating all of these options every now and then, or when we have a good read on the opponent, as well as just blocking and taking some throws, can be a good way of eventually escaping pressure. Checking drive rush is mostly done with crouching light kick and can be done on reaction without really looking for the drive rush a lot of the time. But this leads to low reward, so if someone is abusing drive rush, attempting to go for a better punish is well worth it. When Zangief is in burnout, standing heavy punch is an excellent tool to deal with drive impact. It can be done on reaction if you're looking for it either in neutral or after a button unblocked. As long as the button into drive impact has at least a 4-frame gap between the block stun and the drive impact, the standing heavy punch can be used. If there is less than a 4-frame gap, we need to use either level 2 or level 3. This is not the only way to play Zangief, but it's the way that I try to play Zangief, and I hope I could provide some good information on how the character works. Optimal combos and optimal punishes can vary a lot depending on which patch you're watching this guide on, so as the game is updated, I will try to upload the current optimal combos and punishes if that is of interest. Thank you so much for watching the video. I really hope you liked the video. If you liked the video, feel free to like the video. If you have anything to say, just comment away, and I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much, and until next time, bye.